ham and cheese, right? You get to all the way through Christmas and having things in the fridge that when people pop in or whatever it might be. And for me, ham has always been my family thing. We love a ham.
Yeah.
But I think people find it really difficult because it's really big and how to cook it because of the big pots and stuff. And you're going to do a baked cheese.
I am. I'm going to do a little baked cheese.
John?
Christmas morning for breakfast, and then it gets done for Boxing Day, and it keeps on going. It's usually kept in a pillowcase.
Yeah, he puts it in a pillowcase in the fridge.
Why is it in the pillowcase?
So that it can breathe
That's
through the cotton. But it's in the fridge, and we have to make room in the fridge that's full for the massive ham in the pillowcase. But it's worth it.
Of that, so like a muslin or a pillowcase instead of cling film.
Don't use cling film. No, just open up. But the thing is, the secret to a ham, instead of boiling it, is to steam it. And I saw that Phil yesterday was doing his turkey the same way. Get a trivet in a tray, put your ham on across the top, a bit of paper and a bit of foil. Put your oven at about 180 degrees.
And that paper stops the skin sticking to the foil.
That's right. Stop the skin sticking to the foil. But this is a steaming process, which means you don't have to worry about boiling it. Because if you boil ham, when you take it out of the water, all the water dissipates because of the steam and the ham goes dry. This way the ham stays moist.
Okay.
2 lots of foil. Give it a good tuck. And make sure it's tucked in really nicely. And that goes in the oven for 2 to 2.5 hours. And you don't have to worry about it. Don't touch it.
Quite a hot
160, 165. It's all the information's on the website where you go. That's done like that. So that's the first step.
Don't touch it.
Don't touch it.
Leave it.
Leave it.
Leave it. The big
Leave it,
secret.
please.
This one's still a bit warm. So this one's been in there. And what happens is you've got all the juice and the water at the bottom, but your ham has cooked and it's shrunk a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay? So I need to make for this a glaze, and the glaze, so I take the skin off because the skin is going to be nice and lovely, but this is going to be glazed in a second.
Are you a fan of things like, I see people putting cloves.
I've got cloves.
Yeah, look, he's got his cloves.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I've got his cloves, and while I'm just going to score it, and after I've scored it...
knife.
Thank you, then Lisa's going to do cloves in it. So what you do is you do a crisscross all the way through the fat, and what that does, it just helps to moisten it and keep it lovely. So if you can stick some cloves in there, Lisa, while I make this glaze, which is really easy.
Lisa, I made an orange pomander one year.
Did you?
Well, I had the end of those cloves marked in my thumb because they're quite hard, aren't they?
They are hard.
Push them into an orange.
And they're
Never
really
do that again.
strong.
Back of a teaspoon.
Back of a spoon.
Yeah.
But you don't want too many of them, I don't think, in too much. They're really strong.
So glaze goes on, maple syrup and brown sugar. And then what you do, because it's a 2-part glaze, is a little bit of brandy, and you flame the brandy. And then what happens is that becomes a lovely thick sugar syrup.
And why do you flame the brandy?
You get rid of the alcohol.
But
so
John,
the kids don't get drunk.
As it stands, that ham's ready to eat now, though, is it? Before, even if you didn't do what you're going to do?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can eat that
Ready.
now, hot or cold.
Right.
Whichever way you want. And you can put it in the microwave to heat it up.
OK.
But don't tell anybody.
Okay.
Mustard and apricot jam mixed together. So you've got salty and sweet mixed together.
There you go.
And then you pour the brown sugar maple syrup mixture across the top of that when it's cold. And that, then, and what you do is you be really elegant about the way in which this sits across the top, because you've got to be really careful about how much glaze goes over. Not. Be it as... Look, honestly, have a bit of fun with it. Don't worry about it. Don't get nervous about it. Just put it across the top, and then it goes back in the oven for 40 minutes, and it glazes away.
So the skin's redundant now? You've taken that? Do you
No,
track that?
here's the point with the skin.
OK.
Keep the skin so that later on you keep that. That's going to be your covering for your ham when it goes in the fridge in the pillowcase. That will protect it and keep it moist.
Clever
There you go.
stuff.
So that goes in the oven, and you're going to make camembert.
I am going to make camembert.
Sorry, how long does that go back in the oven for, John?
That goes in the oven for about 90 minutes.
And
Can you
not
cut
covered?
this one?
Not covered.
Not covered, OK.
Can you cut this evenly for me?
Sure, in half.
So, loads of people don't know, you know, you get a lovely cheese, and some people like it, some people don't. This is a really gorgeous way of serving it. So I've got apricot jam again, and some green chilli. So you put a green chilli chopped up into some apricot jam.
Cut it open
Is
Cut
that
it
without
open.
the seeds?
and open up.
Yes, take the seeds out, and you've got one of your camembert puts in there. And you can do it in foil if you don't have it.
Hang on, can we see? Have we got the top camera there? What did we just see? Hang on, there we go. So that's
There we go.
plopped
So that
half of
goes
it in
into
there.
our thing half, and we just pour.
How did you cleverly get a dish that absolutely fits
Do you know what
your
they
camembert?
come? If you look in shops, they're selling camembert with the little dish so that you can cook it. But otherwise, put it in foil. Make a little foil bowl, like that. Then some chopped up pecans in the top, like that, all the way over.
Where's camembert? French cheese. It's French.
Camembert French,
There we
any
go.
soft cheese you want.
And there we go, on top again. So you're layering it.
You can use anything you want. You can use a piece of brie.
Yeah,
or
you could
anything
use
like
brie, absolutely.
or even a bit of goat's cheese.
Camembert's quite strong, I also.
But this is what stops it being that really strong, is that lovely bit of jam, and that chilli gives it a tiny little bite, which is just delicious. And then you've got your pecans on top, and that you can have this all ready. And then Boxing Day tea, or people come
Quite easy
over.
to prepare then. Yeah.
Really easy, and put it in the oven for about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on your oven. About 12, because it will just melt.
I put the oven
Can
for
you put
dear?
that in the oven,
Yes,
my love?
dear, of course.
Vision.
What an 90 minutes.
Yum.
Vision.
And then all you do is, once being there, is you just slice it. Now, as I say, hot or cold,
want that
totally up to you. That is quite hot right now. There you go. I'll give you
That
lots
looks
of bits.
good.
of
Go
it.
on, do you want to stand there?
Here you
Do
go.
want to put your
But
little
you see it
clip
just
here, give me
falls
this.
apart, but it stays nice and moist all the way through. There you go. So you take that. And then as you just store it, and it will stay moist for you all the way through.
I'm going to try that pillowcase thing.
It's very good.
Pillowcase with the skin on.
Well,
Yeah.
I think the thing is... If
Oh,
you,
my life.
How's it good, right, Alan?
Oh, you should do MasterChef.
You see, if you look at this now, it's all sort of glistening still. But when you do this and you want to cool it down, put a cloth across the top of it, and it won't go dry. And as I say, keep it stored in a pillowcase, and you'll be absolutely fine.
It's delicious,
Bit of
John.
cheese on the side with a bread roll, and away you go.
That ham is unbelievable.
There you go.
Isn't it?
Oh, what a bit of ham.
What a
There you
bit
go.
of
You'll be
ham.
doing this, won't you, now for Christmas?
Yeah, well, don't. My mum texted me this morning. I've just ordered an ham, and I went, you can cook it. She was like, ask John what to do.